As explained in the previous video, we are going to look at how to create employee directory. And we have 4 steps in order to accomplish this project. First, we need to design the employee directory in our Adobe XD. In our Adobe XD. Secondly, we need to generate the HTML5 structure. The third part is we're going to use CSS to do our styling. And finally, we'll use JavaScript to add search features and also the ability to filter. So let's dive into our designs. And I'm going to come to this empty space. With the empty space, we need grading system so that we can actually know what we're doing. And to do that, I'm just going to double click on my artboard so that I can see the layout grid and just select the first option. First thing we want to do after having the grid is to start making our designs. Now, we need to plan our designs. We want to display employers. We want to display employees. And for us to display employees, we need to do some certain things. One, we want people to be able to search for employees and also ability to list them here. So let's just dive into it. First, I'm going to draw my search feature so we can have something like this. I can just centralize it. So let's try to set the size. I think I want 40 pixel. Okay, maybe a bit like 350 width. 350 width. Then we can have our border radius to be like maybe 10 pixel. 10 pixel. This works. So once we have the border radius, we can add our page title. We can call it employee directory. Once we have the employee directory, we can increase the font size. Maybe I think 30 will be okay. Let's bring this down a bit. Let's make sure that everything is centralized. When we have it centralized, let's try to remove the grading system so we can see clearly. Okay, so it's looking more like what we want, but I think we can make the border a bit lighter. Maybe darker a bit. Then I'm going to search for a search icon. So this should work for me. Okay. I'm just going to ungroup it. So I actually downloaded icons and I uploaded them on the Adobe Drive. So let's give it color. I think let's try DA. Maybe a bit darker. I'm just going to apply that to the outline. Okay, so now we have our search and as well we have the title. So let's choose to give our title this very color. The next is we need to declare the grid for all the employees. So let's start with the first box. Something like this. So we can have the picture in a circle. Let's centralize it. Now having the picture, we can have the name of the employee, we have the name, then we can use these very platform that help us to generate fake person. So we can just have the name, we'll use the name, we'll use their status, and we'll also use their job title. So let's copy the first user, and I'm just going to paste it. So if I reduce it, let's make them 2 syllables. Let's make them 2 words. Okay, once I have that, so let's see the font size, let's make it 18. I'm going to centralize and also centralize with the box. Then the next thing we want to do, we can make this one 12 points. Then remove it from bold to like regular, which is going to be I think the book. Yes. So let's take the job status. So we can bring the job status down. Just have full time. Let's change the color of this to like dark gray. So but for this one, I think we can have a bit of design here. Let's remove the inner color. Let's have the border radius. In fact, let's have a color to it, maybe something very light. Then let's power it down. Okay, so we can do 2 things here. I'm just going to remove the outline, add shadow. Then I want the shadow to be 40 blur. Maybe that's too much. Let's say 20. Then let's try to reduce the darkness. So I think at this point, let's just even try to remove this grid or reduce the opacity so we can see what we are doing. So let's have this white. We can have this bold so it's visible. Okay, so it's a full time. Let's see, is internist general. So let's add the title. Internist general. Okay, cool. So we're able to know if the person works as a full-time. Let's see if our dark gray is going to work fine here. Okay, so I think we can leave it like that. So we're going to have our image here. Cool. So let's group it. Let's try to get one image. So I'm going to be getting my image from random user, and let's pick this first guy. I'm just going to right click to download. Now if I go to the download file, I should be able to see the image. So I'm just going to drag it to our XD, then place it inside the guy. So let's remove the outline, and I think we have our first user. This is cool. So what we can do is to group this and use the XD grid system. Let's bring it a bit closer. So I think we can just place 3 per row. Let's centralize it. Okay, now that we have 3 per row, we can see have 3 below. Let's remove. Okay, so let's try to reduce the shadow here a bit. Let's say I'm just going to say 10. So we can then reduce the space between. Then we can reduce this one to 0. Let's try to centralize it. Now, if we try to increase, we're almost there. Pretty much, we have a duplicated grid for our employee. Then what we can do is to edit each of their names. So let's see. Let's go back to our fake name generator. Let's refresh to load another user. So this is another user. I'm just going to replace the name. Then let's check for the title. Then let's check for the status. It's also a full-time, so that works. Let's refresh as well. Then this is another user. Let's change the name. Let's change the title. Then we are going to change is a part-time worker. So this is going to help us to really identify the nature of the work. Then we can go to the fourth person rather. Then we're going to just refresh so we can see Steven. Then we can just replace Steven and just space. So I think this stands for their middle name. Let's get rid of the middle names. Let's just use the first name and last name. Put this guy here. We're just going to space and just have the first name and the last name being used. Let's refresh again to see another user. Then getting another user, we're just going to replace here and we're going to remove the middle name. Then check for the title. So the status is the business owner. So if it's the business owner, then let's check for his occupation as title. And his role is seller sales representative and assessors. Okay, that works. Let's move to the next user. Let's generate new one. The next user is Ruth. Remember, we're going to remove the middle name. Then have the person is a full-time, so that works for us. And it works as a forest firefighter and prevention supervisor. So we're just going to say, let's just go for the prevention supervisor. since that is a bit shorter, the next thing is let's reload for another user. So this is Benjamin, and for Benjamin we're just going to have the name, remove the middle name. Let's see what Benjamin is doing. Benjamin is a full-time staff, and as well he is the, let's see, belongs to the license team. So let's just remove the first part and use license. Okay, so cool. Let's load another user. Is it full-time? Yeah. Let's use Wayne. And we're going to have remove the middle name. Then is a full-time staff. That works for us. Let's put a job title. Is the transportation manager, which is cool. So let's reload another user. So it's called Millicent. So let's remove the middle name. And his status is studies. So let's also check his title. His title is registered nurse. Alright, so if we check at this point, I think we can remove our grading system so that we can see clearly. Let's give a space a bit. And if you check right now, you will see that we have a clear design. So let's try to preview. You can see that we have design for our employees. But right now, let's try to get random images as well. So we need we need like 9 images. Well, we've gotten 8 already. So let's get additional image. So we're just going to come here and we're just going to download images randomly. Let's get some ladies. I'm just going to close this. Let's try to locate all our images, and if we try to highlight all of them and just drag them to our XD, let's see the magic that XD is going to perform. You can see that XD helps us to update all the images with just one single drop. And let's preview it, and we can see beautiful presentation of our employees. And that's how we wrap it up for this one. In the next video, we'll look at how to use HTML to create mockup for this page. And following that, we're going to be creating the CSS styling as well, then before adding the JS. So until next time, I'll see you in the next one.